why it's important for a business school or a university to be accredited? What is the main concern or the most important issues they decide to take this step, important step?
Yeah, I think one of the reasons schools choose to do this is that AACSB is known worldwide as the longest standing and most recognized quality and business school accreditation, and it's known by students and by industry as well as other schools across the world. And so I think that's actually one of the reasons why schools would choose it. Our accreditation ensures that schools who are accredited have outcomes in learning, in high quality instruction and high quality faculty, and relevant and impactful research. I think that's important to a lot of students as well. And we also offer a peer network for schools to share ideas, much like CLADEA does. We share ideas, we share best practices, we learn from each other. We emphasize collaboration and co-creation of knowledge. I always think it's interesting when I learn something from a school, for example, in Latin America or a school from Asia. And when I was a dean, I really appreciated those. So sometimes they have a more creative solution than I came up with. And also, we're a mission-driven process with rigorous internal assessments, which is supported by peer-reviewed teams. And once accreditation is achieved, which is difficult, but a lot of schools do it, each institution then participates really in a 5-year continuous improvement review process, which really helps the school to remain innovative and stay on the leading edge of education. I think your members know that in 2020, July, we launched new accreditation standards, and I'm really excited about this and for your members to understand what they're doing. We are doubling down on schools delivering their unique mission, but we also have a huge emphasis on creating positive societal impact, and I think that is something that we'll see. The challenges are going to exist, I think, for a long time. As we know, I thought, and I've heard, other people, that I thought it was going to be a sprint. We'll be done in the summer. Life will be back to normal. Well, we know that it's now a marathon, and it's really a worldwide marathon. Different regions are impacted differently. And so having a global organization, but being really helpful to understand different regions and what the different regions' impact is. So I'm looking at more local solutions. So a global organization, but with local solutions to help people through it. We know that there's a lot of Zoom fatigue out there, and people are really wanting those in-person visits, especially for our peer review teams. So much in the peer review happens when you go to the campus and you meet with the team and you get to know each other personally, and then you can give really great consultative advice. And so I do think we will go back to at least many face-to-face visits once it's safe to travel again. And so we're looking forward to that. Once again, I think our volunteer training, though, will probably stay mostly face-to-face, and many of our events may well move to a hybrid model. I don't know if you're thinking about a hybrid model, but we found some advantages in online because people can do it and without the travel costs and the travel time. But really it's that face-to-face networking, getting to know each other, et cetera, which is hard to replicate in this environment. Members in our network who really want their impact to be very local, their local town, their local municipality, and that's the goal of that school. We also have some schools that really want to have a more regional network. So maybe it's in the United States, or or it might be in Thailand, or it might be, in a province of China. But then we have some that really want a global impact. And the great thing about our mission-driven accreditation is that each school can have its own mission and then work on the impact that it wants to have and learn from others. So I'm sure that some of the challenges that are impacting some of your schools are felt at other schools across the world. They may be, the financial challenges that are there, the student quality standards or quality, the faculty quality and getting the right faculty in front of the students. I mean, all of those are not just Latin American challenges,
exactly.
They're challenges worldwide in a variety of schools, and really coming together to solve some of those, I think, is the exciting thing about being in this position. Latin America is, of course, a very important region for AACSB, and since really 2018, which isn't that long ago, we've seen pretty large growth in our Latin American membership, especially in engagement in our events and our online platforms, and even the accreditation process. I don't know if you know, but 24 schools are AACSB accredited in Latin America. So we're seeing growth there and a substantive interest. And what it was interesting, I think I told you, I went to a CLADEA visit meeting several years ago, and I was struck with the focus, even at that time, on business schools creating positive societal impact. And I really took that home, saying, many of these countries haven't really had business schools play that role of having positive societal impact through the higher education system. And now AACSB also recognizes that discreetly and throughout our new accreditation standards. I know that Latin American schools, not solely, but in particular, have really faced extreme challenges, and many of them may not be ready for the accreditation process right now, or it might not be within the realm of possibility in the next several years. But that doesn't mean, and we have lots of members who aren't accredited, that AACSB can't help your members face the current situation. So, for example, a lot of members use our AACSB Exchange, which is our online community, networking community, asking questions, sharing experiences. It, as you might suspect, has exploded during this time. I'm like, well, that's a really good idea from Australia, We also have networking communities and affinity groups, depending upon what your member schools are interested in, and really the professional development opportunities as well for deans and other members of the business schools. And like we said, it allows people to collaborate, it allows people to share resources, and joining that community really makes you feel like you are part of a community and that you could reach out to that community when you have questions and concerns, or to share. One of my favorite ones is actually the schools when they share successes. This is what our alumni did, this is what our students did, and it's fun for us to be able to share that through our social media platforms, etc. So there's a lot of things besides accreditation that AACSB does, and we're happy to talk with any of your members who are interested. Since 2018, we've seen huge growth in our Latin American membership, and most importantly, our engagement from Latin American schools in AACSB events and online platforms, and even in the accreditation process. So I think you probably know there are 24 accredited schools, so there's growth and substantive interest from Latin American schools in quality, and that's really tangible benefit. We also know that many of the schools in the region share positive societal impact. I was struck when I came to a CLADEA conference several years ago at how important business schools creating positive societal impact is, and I'm thrilled that now our standards actually include that, and you're going to see a lot of societal impact in our networking examples and a celebration of what business schools do. We do know that Latin American schools have faced extreme challenges during the pandemic, but we think that AACSB can help those schools even if they're not ready for accreditation at this time. So things like sharing on our shared membership platforms like the AACSB Exchange, by being involved in our networking and affinity communities. Professional development is good for all of us, of course, so we have lots of opportunities for that. All of these, by the way, are listed on our website. Latin American schools, I just want to assure you, are really valued members of our community. And even though they face unique challenges, I think our global membership can really help them. So my basically pitch is that part of joining our community includes these frequent networking and collaboration with other member schools throughout the world. And it makes us so we're all connected and don't feel so alone, especially as we continue to face these challenging times.